Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes. Pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the weekly Crypto Kings live stream. We have some updates on pDAI. We have some TA, what's going on in the markets, and what's going on, my man Moon King B Roots.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, B Roots, back at it again with another shill tube. This channel is growing. This channel is bringing you all the alpha. It's a small channel that is growing, but if you are here with us from the beginning, you are likely to reap the benefits. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's free. And if you don't like us, hit the thumbs down button 4 times. 4 times. Last time it was 3 times. Hate us 4 times, hit it. We don't care.
Yeah, man. It's just a lot's happened over the weekend. Obviously, last time we were on this stream, B-Roots, we witnessed pDAI, ATROPA down, the whole ecosystem just flying up, man. Like, it was just going. Like, I think it almost did a 2x live on the show. It was, I mean, the volume, the liquidity that was being added to the ATROPA was insane. It started at 6 million in liquidity. I think it hit like 12 million within an hour. So like it was just crazy to watch this real time, talking about the project. Whales were aping in. Obviously, we had a correction. You saw, the bank in China go down, and just, the FUD or whatever it might be. We saw a big dip in Bitcoin, a capitulation, but you saw a little dip in pDAI. Then it shot right back up, but now it's consolidating around that 3 zeros and a 1 at the moment. But yeah, it's interesting, man, to see, meme coins and coins with high conviction, high speculation, they don't care what the market does. And that's why there's huge opportunity. And with that huge run up we had to cool off a little. But I think we could be getting ready for the next leg up.
Yeah, it's definitely cooling up. You're seeing buys come back in, but what it's doing is it is slowly like hovering on a trend line. A big move is coming soon, whether it's up or down. There is a big move coming soon. I predict that's going. I'm playing as if it's going up, just because the narrative hasn't changed. It's only growing. The speculation's still there, and that's key for any coin that you can get in early that goes up. The speculation is still there. There's a lot to be talked about, and we do have Zach from the research team that's going to present us some more finds that we found over the last few days, attached to another tweet that I did previous months. So there's going to be big things that we're going to show up there if you have not heard it yet. However, we've got a lot of things we're going to talk about. We've been getting excited about pDAI, but we do got to talk about the market. The gains are going up. We're killing it in the market. We're so attached to pDAI and ATROPA and that ecosystem. The last few episodes, we forgot to bring up the godfather of them all, Bitcoin. And a lot has happened since the last time we actually talked about it. And I just looked at the charts just now, and wow.
Well, hold on. Let's check the likes first. If they want to see this TA on some predictions, which B-Roots has been spot on this entire year we've started this, I would say about 95% spot on. Let me just check the likes real quick. We got 160 people in here currently, and we are sitting at right now 65 likes, guys. Let's at least get that up to 100. Smash that like button if you guys want to see some TA, not only on Bitcoin, but on Pulsechain, and then as well on pDAI. It looks like pDAI might be breaking the trend line for the downside, but we're going to take a look at that in a minute. Obviously, Pulsechain is kind of going down as well. So we'll look at that, but Bitcoin is the godfather. Smash that like button, guys, if you're ready for some TA.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's bring this up. All right. Well. The lines have not changed. It's funny, man. When did we start this? January? And I think we made these lines in February in preparation for the bull market. So when you look at these lines, you're going to laugh for what we just saw. Let me share the screen here.
We're not quite there, guys. Come on, 10 more likes. It's absolutely free. Just smash that like button. Let's get this stream going. And the haters, I know they're smashing that dislike button. Maybe smash it 5 times, because we know the haters are up in here as well. So it's all good. It's all fam. It's all the same goal. And here we go.
All right. So we had a bullish bull flag on an ascending triangle. But once again, last time we talked about this, the gravestone doji plays out again. If you weren't here with us previously, I said that gravestone dojis always get out the way. Always get out the way of a gravestone doji. So I said that here, and that price was at $30,300. I said we're likely to go down, even though we are in a bullish formation. Why? Because of this gravestone doji. Let me give you a little history. Gravestone doji, plow. Let's see here. I remember there was one in 2020 or 19. There it is. Gravestone doji. What happened? Faked it up, but automatically COVID striked. Wow. All because of that. So what I told you back here is please look out for this gravestone doji, even though we were in the bullish pattern. Gravestone doji came. What happened? We broke out of the pattern. But I said we have support since January, back when we started doing these lines. We had support on the trend line. See that? Boom. Trend line. See that? Boom. But because of this, I said there's a good chance that we were going to hit this line. And what happened? We hit that exact target. Maybe not exact, a little bit lower than 25.6. But that line right there is showing you, boom, there it is. It broke it, or it bounced off of it. Now, what I wouldn't be surprised seeing is us to try to retest this line to say, okay, we are ready to break out. If it's a bull trap, we're going to get back onto this trend line and keep going and keep going and keep going into the halving. Or we can break this line and test that 300-week moving average, which is right here at 20,929. By the time this breaks, my bet is this will be sitting at this 21.3, 21.5 area right here. So I think that would happen maybe September sometime if that happens. So this goes against my narrative with Pulsechain being, October, November area being at 10x. This kind of hurts it a little bit because the market is going to follow it. It is going to follow it. So if this thing breaks down, we have our 300-week moving average of our big tester. If this breaks, remember our last resort line, the 400-week moving average. This is sitting at 16,117. So if something like crazy would happen, it would actually probably play out very similar to how COVID happened. Now, let me kind of give you an example in here. I'm going to put in the moving average that everybody was going off of back in 2018, 2019. And that indicator,
put that 200-week,
200-week moving average. Yep.
I saw the other day. I think Altcoin Daily or someone said that we broke the.
Yeah, everybody talks about the 200-week. It's like a meme at this point. So I don't follow it. It's either what the heck happened to the moving average?
They got rid of it because it's irrelevant.
Killing it too much to the point where they just got rid of it.
They canceled it.
Favorite. Wow, technicals today. Wow, they really did do away with the moving average.
No.
So let's take off the 300 for a second and change it. Make it a 200. So what had happened was the 300 was hit, but once it was broken, it was hit. So maybe, just maybe, worst case scenario. Now, I'm not saying this is happening. Don't get all scared and be like, Beaver said we're going to. No. I'm giving you possibilities. Possibilities, we get back on the trend line. Second possibility, we come down and hit the 300 moving average. Third worst case possibility, what we did back in 2018. We broke the 200-week moving average and tapped the 300-week moving average and said, see ya. Now, maybe what happens, the worst case scenario, we break the 300-week moving average and tap the 400-week moving average. But guess what? The 400-week moving average is a higher low. This low right here is at 15,479. This 400-week moving average is at 16,117 and moving up. So do we repeat what we saw here where it broke the 200-week moving average and hit the 300-week moving average and went on to its bull cycle? And instead we break the 300-week moving average, hit the 400-week moving average, and continue the cycle. Very possible. It's in the cards right now. It is in the cards. If we break this blue line right now, it is in the cards.
What's that number at?
This was 25.5. If it breaks this, I do believe we're going to the 300-week moving average. And the 300-week moving average at that time will be anywhere between 21 and 21.5. If we break that and we slice right through that bad boy, this is your final last target. I do not think it breaks this. No way. I don't think we create a lower low because we are already in the cycle. The cycle has started. The Bitcoin halving is very soon. So keep that. Those are your three targets. For me, I hold with what I have. I don't try to swing trade it. I don't try to slow trade it. I don't try to like buy, sell, and then buy in lower. That's usually destruction waiting to happen. So I do not play that game. But I know the capabilities. I do have money on the side just in case this happens, because there will be a bloodbath if this happens. But I don't think everyone's going to be thinking, oh, 10K and pray, here we go. No, I'm telling you right now, worst case scenario, in my opinion, is the 400-week moving average. It will hit at one time or another, but I think it's going to hit next cycle versus this cycle. But if it does hit this cycle, be prepared to not be afraid of whatever news happens. There will be a news event that follows that everyone says, oh, this is why it's going down, it's over, blah, blah, blah. No. I don't listen to the news. I am saying right now, the worst case scenario is the 400-week moving average. But I still think 300-week average holds up.
300-week holds, man. And I don't think it's going to even – I honestly don't think it's going to reach that, bro. Like the Bitcoin ETFs and futures, people front running. I agree with Larson.
I don't like the narrative of the Bitcoin ETFs. People are very, very bullish on the ETF. In my opinion, it's a buy the rumor, sell a news event. And you have to realize that the ultra rich doesn't necessarily have to make money if the market's going up. ETFs allow you to short and still make money. So everyone's, oh, this is the super cycle, this is bullish, this is this and that. No, it's not. It helps keep the price down. And as people are bullish, buying in, they can short it and still make money with leverage, just like you can do it going up. So realize once the ETF is here, the market is now officially controlled, in my opinion. So BlackRock will control the price. They don't necessarily have to make the price go up. They can make the price go down and allow their investors to get in earlier. Really, I guess not earlier, but get in cheaper. So don't be so bullish on the ETFs. The ETFs actually means it's not that bullish. The last time there was a way for people to get into crypto through traditional markets, I'm going to show you real fast. This week right here.
And I mean, that's their track record. BlackRock shorts everything.
All the way up. And now you're able to trade Bitcoin on the traditional market. Guess what happened after that? That exact week, on the exact day.
Because, I mean, that's what those big companies do. Those VC companies, they short everything, bro. That's how they make billions.
And then they'll short you out. And then you buy and you short you out, make you fun. And then they'll buy you back in. Wait, ETF, or maybe ETF approved, or maybe you don't even get an ETF approved. You get it denied. But everyone thinks it's bullish. So when it gets denied, what happens? The price go down. Oh, it didn't happen. It's not bullish anyway, but that's the narrative that they present to you. Oh, it didn't happen. And then they buy it back up. Bitcoin halving happens. They buy it back up. ETF goes. We're sitting at 60. ETF, look at that line. Oh, where did that line come from? I don't remember, but it came from somewhere. We talked about it at some time. ETF approved. BlackRock's in. It's going to make us so much bullish. It's going to be so bullish. How it works, Pete. So that's the reality of it. I'm not necessarily bullish on ETFs. Maybe long term, maybe you scroll out to the monthly charts. Yeah. You look at the monthly chart, yeah, you can go up, slowly go down, slowly go up, higher, slowly go down, slowly go up even higher. We're in 2035. Yeah, absolutely, it can happen. It could be long term, but when you're looking at now, You know, we got a while to get to 2035. You look at where we're at now weekly, that's way, you can't even see it anymore. You know, we got to zoom out to get that opinion. And there's no guarantee that they don't just get up here and just make it go sideways like gold forever. It's very possible. So,
yeah.
it's reality.
Why don't we go ahead and pull up the Pulsechain chart? Definitely some Pulsechains in here. Wondering and hoping, when will SAC rate again? And I know it's not officially the SAC rate, but we know it is officially where it launched.
Let's see here. Yeah, that's not good. We're going to the next level. The first stop is right here. We're going back to 4, peeps. It's that simple. We broke down, and in my opinion, we're going back to 4. We don't go back to 4, we're going back to 3. I don't think we create a new low. That would be very, very interesting. It looks too droopy. It looks very, very droopy. So in my opinion, as you see this, roll over. We're probably going to roll over again. Once again, no guarantees. I like to see 2 closing days below a breakdown. Look at the weekly, 3-day. Weekly. Yeah, so it broke down below it weekly on last week. If this week closes below, we're definitely going down to 4. And we're going to play around this area a little bit. We got to find a place where people are willing to be bullish and just keep playing with it. Here to here would be, in my opinion. Anytime you see long wicks like this, they're going to get filled. Just a matter of time before they get filled. So when I saw this long wick and long up and this turned into a red, it's 1,000% going to get filled somehow, some way. So I do see a retest of the 3-4 area happening most likely, possible. Or excuse me, the 4 area definitely is going to get hit, in my opinion. And then we're going to play around with the 3-4 area and probably kind of play around that area. Man, that's cheap, bro. That is a cheat. Let's see. What is the, I think it's now Pulse. Pulse now, maybe? Market cap. Nowpulse.com. Does anybody know the website where it shows you the market cap and the burning that's happening? Put that in the comments, please. Because I would like to see the true market cap of Pulsechain.
I guess it's probably
Pulse. It used to be like Pulse Burn Pulse. No.
Pulse Go.
Go, yes, Pulse Go.
Go Pulse.
Go Pulse. It's Go Pulse. It's the other way around. Yeah. There it is. All right. So the market cap of Pulse right now is
420.
643 million.
Woo! Wow.
That's without the OA. If you include the OA, it's a 5.8 billion. But I don't include it. I just take the market cap. So the amount of Pulse that's burning right now, do they even have that on here? They don't have that on here at the moment. Man, PulseX, I told you it was overvalued, bro. And I told you we are going back to the ones. like nothing against PulseX, people. It's just it is what it is. Like I always thought that was way too overvalued. Kind of is what it is. But as you can see, Pulsechain and Hex are very correlated. They're like very close. Pulsechain's leading the battle. But we didn't expect that. Nobody.
No, we didn't.
But that's markets for you, bro. That is markets for you. Now, I do see people out there calling for a 10x. on Pulsechain now, and they're saying that's the high it will go.
Oh my God.
I don't agree with that. I do believe that a 10,000x is still very possible with Pulsechain.
Probably even more than ever with the low that we're at now.
I do believe it. Why? Because they don't see what's happening with pDAI. They don't believe it. So if pDAI happens, it will surprise all the Maxis and all the people that don't think it's going to do what it's going to do. There is a plan for the liquidity with Pulsechain, and I think it's through pDAI. That's simple. I think it's through pDAI. And if it's not, it's going to happen somehow, some way. Because everybody forgot. They all forgot what Richard Hart said when it comes to liquidity and being very liquid and being able to move prices. So when you have that mentality of people saying, I don't think we're going to go as high, and that's capitulation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not possible. We're only going to do 10x, 50x. That's capitulation. Because what's happening is you're lowering your expectations of what it should be. So that means you're probably going to take profits earlier than what you would have if it didn't do it. But because you're capitulating in your mindset, you now don't believe that it can do what you once thought it would do. And that's how people sell too early and lose to the market going up. So it's just how it is, man. It's just the name of the game. It's just how it plays. Hex dropped 95% right off the bat. It just recovered a whole lot faster. And I think it recovered a whole lot faster because of DeFi summer. So it came out in January, I believe, January 2019. And then it dropped, and then it recovered. And then DeFi summer came out, Uniswap came out, and then Uniswap started getting more popular, and then so don't be surprised, man. Crypto will surprise you to the downside and to the upside. So make sure you are confident in your plays. I don't change my game plan on how I take profit in Pulsechain and Hex has not changed. It won't change. And maybe people say, oh, you're going to get wrecked. Here's the difference between me and them. I play within the ecosystem. So I will get my 10,000x. If it doesn't happen in Pulsechain, well, guess what? I'm going to get something that's built on top of Pulsechain to get 10,000x. Boom. So
there you go.
That'll open up your mind. Because if you're that maxi and it doesn't happen, and maybe those maxis are right, what if it doesn't happen? Well, what are you going to do about it? Because your coin ain't going up fast. pDAI's killing it, and it's chilling.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm feeling good about where I'm at right now, even though Pulsechain is down.
Yeah. And you're just seeing, too, like a lot of liquidity games being played within the ATROPA pDAI ecosystem. And, that's a signature move of Richard Hart. If you guys have been in this ecosystem, you've seen what he's done with Hex. You've seen how, he would add liquidity when it was getting sold off, and he would take it out just to, he's a master at that. So, that's just another sign of just common sense of not being so technical, but just seeing what's going on, observing from the outside and just seeing, man, this is something different. This is not just a regular meme coin, a copied over, ERC20 token pump that we've seen, like with even Pepe.
Yeah. When I see this comment, I usually say kind of back up. It just happened to be that Hex was on Uniswap. Uniswap isn't popular because of Hex, because there was very little people in Hex at that time. So when I hear people say that, it kind of makes me cringe just a little bit, because that's just marketing talk from Richard Hart and the OG Hexkins. Just because you're on first doesn't mean you made it popular. The people that made it popular is the VCs of Ethereum that knew that Uniswap was going to be the next play to make DeFi summer happen. Hex did not make DeFi summer, and Hex wasn't the reason DeFi summer called. Like, no, that's not true. So I always want to see. No, it's not true. Like it's just not true. So that's all I'm gonna say is it's not true. But you know, it's a good story, it's a good narrative, but it's just not really true.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, we're about halfway through the stream. We want to bring up Zach, and big shout out to all those guys, you know, Coach, Hodlnomics, all these guys that have been really digging into this, because you guys are legends, especially if it comes to fruition, what we are seeing, and this plays out with Richard Hart being involved in this, behind it, and, you know, the paganing upon us. You guys are going to be absolute legends in this. So we do have Zach backstage, and Beers, is there anything else you want to add, or should we bring him up?
Yeah, let's look at. I do think we gotta stop saying pDAI. I type it in every single time and nothing shows up, and it really throws people off. Even though it is pDAI, like it is, but when people type in pDAI into Twitter, index tools, it's
nothing shows up.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna get wrecked. So let's get here. Let's do this. I see a lot of people thinking that the structure is broken, and that's just not true. Let's show the TA before we get into
Zach.
Zach, yeah.
All right. Yeah, Zach, give us 1 second. We're gonna bring up the chart, and then we'll bring you up here. Yeah, it did look like. Oh, you're on the daily.
Yeah. See, if you're looking at crackhead timeframes.
I was looking at the 4 hour.
Crackhead timeframes.
That's like mini crackhead.
Crackhead timeframes. Crack is crack.
Wow.
No, it didn't break the trend line. That's the actual trend line. That's the actual trend line. If you look at the 4 hour, you can make up a trend line, but look at that. It didn't break the trend line. Now, some people can say, oh, it did break the trend line. If you look at it that way, yes, but there's a lot of wicks down there that you're missing. So it's not there yet. I believe I like to look at more longer term trend lines when I do trend lines, because I don't want to short end it. Because when you short end it, you get wrecked. So I like to look a little bit bigger and be confirmed that the trend line was broken. Right now, when I look at the daily, trend line is not broken. When I look at the 12 hour, the trend line is not broken. When I look at the 4 hour, I can convince myself that the trend line is broken, but that's because you're looking at crackhead time frames. See?
Crack is crack, bro.
You could have said the trend line was broken.
No.
A long time. Yeah, you can, because you're literally saying, okay, well, it hit here, wick, came down, wicked off, broke it, got back out of it, tested it, broke it, tried to get up out of it, came down. Like, you can literally, if you want to crack that time frame this, guess what? I'll show you the hourly, and you're going to say, oh, I see. Look at that.
Gotcha.
It's a crackhead time frame. So zoom out.
So get off crack.
Get out, zoom out. If you're going to do this, like 12-hour minimum, and really line up. Line it up. Damn it. Hold on a second. Ah. There you go. And just line it up and just like be a little less like cracky, because it can easily just come up and just bounce off that, and you'd be like, oh, I should have been looking at the 12 hour. That's why. But instead you sold thinking it broke. So time frames always, the longer the time frame, the more legit it is. You look at the crackhead time frames, you're likely to get wrecked. If you're going to play this game, you want to zoom out as much as possible. And then if you even look at it like this, take that out, and I'll show you something. You're seeing a range. Sell here, buy here. Sell here, buy here. Sell here, buy here. So, I mean, you can literally just do this and it just flags out and it just breaks out. So what you're really seeing is a bull flag. But just as we saw Bitcoin, bull flags can break out or down. So it's very possible. So not over yet. And nothing has broken down yet on the higher time frames. ATROPA. Same thing. Literally the exact same chart, pretty much. So, all right, that is it, man. Like I said, right now from the higher time frames, I don't think.
Look at that wick, bro. Look where that wick went.
Yeah.
That thing went like literally on the stream, man. We're gonna have another Gigapump stream hopefully this Friday.
Watch this. It was. I've got this lined up wrong. So if you take the previous high to the low, which was right here, boom, to the low, it's going to hit one of those lines. Watch. Boom. Boom. No, it fucking just went, bro. That thing just went. That was a lot. That was a big Gigapump. Look at that. It retested the ultra high of the fib. So what I did was I took 12-hour, the high right before the Somni FUD with the absolute low, which actually can bring that down a little bit lower. See that? Came up, broke out of this, broke out of that, and retested the high of that. So you can see right here what happened. It went up and it got pushed down and then went up. It retested this. See you later. Went down in here, retested this again. Doji. So like right now, it's wanting to see, hey, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? It's just a bull flag. So it hasn't chosen a side yet. So it looked bearish. Everyone sees red instead of green, so they're just like, come on, come on, come on, because everyone's so greedy. It's doing its thing, man. It's actually pretty bullish. That's crazy that there's just it literally just skipped all these lines and retests.
All right, man. Well,
see what new, and there's something new he's got and updates. I hear there's some stuff with LDO, which is another tweet that I did last week to say, hey, look into it. And they found some stuff. So let's bring on Zach. We don't have any music for you this time.
Zach, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good.
So, yeah, thanks for having me on. Just wanted to give a quick update, I guess, about what's going on inside of the whole pDAI world. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, there's just a lot of new things coming out every day almost. These guys are really digging into the blockchain and, tracing wallets. It's like a really, really large web, so very, very confusing. The Pulse scanner, it's not the greatest, and, we kind of all know that. These guys are using dbank usually, and this is going to help them with, like, labeling different wallets and things like that, and keeping track of things. So that's been helpful. But yeah, so basically I just want to give a shout out to Jimmy Rintz, New2, and 9iron Capital. These guys have been doing like the brunt of the research and basically, feeding everybody, the information that they're finding. Nine Iron Capital's been pretty vocal on Twitter. He's our biggest holder, basically. That's like part of our community. But he's basically posting on Twitter all the time about, you know, how to collateralize the pDAI, things like that. He didn't have a lot of followers at the beginning when he was when he found pDAI. I think he had like 50 followers or so, and now, you know, obviously it's growing a bit as people are figuring out, you know, who's got the real information, right? He's posting links to the blockchain and showing his thought process through the whole thing, right? But now the things that they've come across, I guess, are pretty intriguing, right? So before we knew, you know, obviously DAI is kind of controlled by Maker. And we did see some videos, you know, before Pulsechain's launch about how DAI would kind of work as a stable coin in the future. And, you know, Richard kind of always talked about how DAI was kind of going to be broken basically on launch, which is exactly kind of what we saw. The supplies, you know, obviously a PLS versus ETH when it was copied over were inflated, and that's kind of like what broke the mechanism there. But what had happened, you know, through a bit of the research that the guys have done, we noticed on the blockchain that there was some kind of like vote that had taken place in July, and what we believe had fixed this kind of inflation bug people were speaking about previously, where you could kind of like mint pDAI by basically trading your PLS, which you would think was it as an ETH value, which was like $1,800 or something like that. But anyways, that hasn't occurred since July 5th, basically, when this vote occurred. And actually, I'm just going to share my screen with you guys just so I can show you that vote on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Just 1 second here. Okay. So yeah, this is Maker here. You guys can see my screen, right?
No, not yet. Oh, hold on. Let me add to it. There you go.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is
zoom in a little bit.
Say again.
If you can zoom in a little bit.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is July 2nd, right? What's weird that's here is like I see all these like tornado cash deposits of 100 ETH at a time, right? A bunch of them on July 2nd. These are like $200,000 a piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. Or these are 10 ETH. But yeah, anyways, a bunch of tornado cash deposits into Maker. Then we see here's the vote here just a few days later on July 5th. This is when the bug was fixed and there was no more inflation afterwards. Right here. So if you could see that, the vote and the submitted vote here. And then is there anything else? And then it looks like there was a payment on the same day as the vote. It looks like there was a payment sent here for $71,000 in PLS, right? So I don't really know how to determine what all this is, but we do know that the inflation did stop at this time, and that we obviously see some payments made in PLS. So that could be something. It could be nothing. Also, while I'm sharing my screen now, I would kind of like to go over Lido, right? Because Lido is a little bit of the next step in this whole thing. What the guys figured out was that the Maker vaults didn't launch with anything in them when PLS launched. And this is actually really critical. It looks like everything was transferred over to Lido before the snap, right? All the collateral. And I'm not sure how that's all possible or who was able to set this up. The guys are still kind of digging into this type of research. This is kind of just what they wanted me to share with you guys on the stream today. So basically, there are some very interesting wallets that are minting staked ETH from the Lido vaults and using it to balance the ATROPA, pDAI, USDC, and all those liquidity pools, right? So basically Lido, or, you know, somebody that's working within Lido, right? Whoever's, you know, having any control of the governance and things like that, they're basically in control of ATROPA, right? And all the big liquidity pools that there are within the pDAI and all of the others. Let's see what else is here.
So I saw some people speculating on STE, and the only thing that threw me off with STE is that STE is pegged to Ethereum. So whenever Ethereum is, that's what STETH is on the Ethereum side. However, STETH on Pulsechain should be attached to Ethereum, right? Like wouldn't it be attached to Pulsechain, not necessarily Ethereum? If that was the speculation behind that of people buying STETH.
Yeah, you know what?
That case, you'd be
This is
overpriced.
just also new to me, honestly. It's like blowing my mind. Like the whole thing with like the vaults from Maker being transferred to Lido before the snapshot. Like, how in the world would that happen? Or, I mean, I can't wait till they have all the links and things like that to show everybody the actual proof of all this happening, because that's like, I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So if we want to move on to Lido, so basically what Lido is it's a liquid staking DAO, basically, that, you know, obviously it works with a bunch of different networks, Ethereum, Polygon, and Solana right now. You know, could they be working with Pulsechain in the future? Who knows? But what happens is basically you stake your tokens and get daily rewards. You basically receive this liquid staked ETH or staked whatever token, and then you can basically use that stake token in, you know, DeFi basically. And so what we kind of think is that, and this is kind of speculation, right? I'm just going to go into a little bit of spec, but potentially, you know, the Pulsechain OA could be using those funds to possibly put them into Lido basically, and then receive stake tokens, and then basically use those to basically collateralize you know, ATROPA and whatever we have going on. So basically what the guys are saying is like it could already be collateralized, right? So we don't really know for sure yet, but that's definitely a possibility, having seen that the Maker vaults were emptied out and moved over to Lido. So yeah, that's definitely interesting there.
And any of those, you never know, because I mean, do you think ATROPA has anything to do with? Do they think ATROPA has anything to do with Lido?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So the Lido vaults, there's a contract or some kind of bot, right? That's minting. What did they say? Yeah, it's basically the bot is minting the funds for the liquidity pool. Basically, it's taking vault money from Lido and it's using that to inject liquidity into all of our pairs, right? So basically, you could say that somebody within Lido is basically in control of ATROPA and all those pairings.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So it could be speculated that any of those pairs attached to ATROPA could be a STE potential.
Yeah, I mean, there could be use for staking and things like that. That's probably why ATROPA still has that that little red flag that what that guy did catcher. Yeah, he figured out that basically the creator of ATROPA could possibly mint tokens right at any point in time. Nobody else can. But he also did say in that same sentence that it could be used as like a staking function in the future to mint tokens for that. And then the new staking contract would kind of supersede any ability to mint tokens in the future. So there wouldn't be a red flag if they were going to use it for that purpose. And that kind of makes sense, having this whole Lido thing be connected.
Do you have any questions, Ian?
No, I'm just thinking back to when you were talking about Lido. Did you see anything about that, B-Roots? What made you like first start?
My only speculation why I tweeted about Lido is that out of all PRC20 tokens, Lido is the only one that likes to partner with other coins and do things on other EVMs. So when I see that, I said there's no doubt in my mind that Lido will do something with Pulsechain, because when you look at them, like you said earlier, they do some with Ethereum, Polygon, Solana. I believe they have something with I don't think AVAX is in there. Let me see here. Lido ecosystem consists of Maker. So they do have something with Maker, Aave. Let's see here. Yearn Finance. I'm gonna name all the projects they kind of work with. Loop Ring, Quick Swap. Some things you would know. Idle Finance. I don't know if a lot of people know about that. A lot. I mean, they're big player. Lido is a very, very big player in this space. Does not get the recognition that I don't think a lot of people do. But it's basically, if you don't have 32 ETH, you can actually still do stuff with DeFi within the Ethereum ecosystem. And that allows Lido to do that for you. So that's what I said is, hey, as prices goes up, having 32 million Pulse is going to be hard to get if you wanted to do something, with staking or anything of that sort. But that was my whole spiel with that is I think Lido does something with Pulsechain. I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be exactly what they do now in the exact same format because things are copied over. So how they do it, what they do it, I don't know, but they seem to like EVM tokens.
Yeah, so I wanted to actually point out some more information here. So basically, it looks like this bot that's working through Lido to fix these LPs in ATROPA and pDAI. It looks like they are minting staked ETH every 30 seconds or so, and basically the particular wallet must have had 1 million already PLS, and it appears about dormant until about 30 hours ago or so. The ATROPA OA wallet was dormant basically since it received a bunch of unstaked hex, which it used that to basically start all these liquidity pools. And that wallet actually just woke up about 6 days ago. So yeah, who knows what may happen with that? There could be some more liquidity added to tokens, and because I know that there are some other ATROPA pairs that don't have much liquidity right now. Let's see. I'm trying to go through these little.
Yeah, that's a question I had for you as well, Zach. What are you? Because I've been observing and reading a lot of threads and stuff about it. What are you observing with like the liquidity distribution between ATROPA, pDAI, and even other coins in the ecosystem like Down?
Yeah. So I noticed that there, obviously there's a few different pairings, right? So we can go from pDAI to ATROPA, then from ATROPA we can go a few different places. So we can go to Down, right? The lowercase d OWN.
TSFI, yeah.
Right, and so that one actually has a really, really thick liquidity and market cap, right? Real kind of close together. I think they're probably around like 500K. And so that was interesting, right? And then if you can actually go from Down to another one called Legal, and Legal has a much lower token supply, another one with really thick liquidity, but less than Down. And I think the price is like 30 cents or something like that already. It's a super low supply, so that's why the price is up. And then another one that was really interesting actually was the TSFI, and that one is similar in market cap to Down, but it has like maybe a third or half of the liquidity, right? And so actually I thought that one was like the most interesting out of all of them, because in terms of liquidity and the price going up, the lower the better, right? So if you want to have thick liquidity, but if you want it to pump like it can, you want it to be kind of obviously in the lower end. So I definitely thought that one was a good play. And people were speculating on the name being like T-Share Finance and things like that. I thought that was kind of funny. But it did kind of make sense, if this is who we think it may be behind all these things. I mean, one could only know, what he may have up his sleeve. So, but yeah, in terms of the liquidity and everything, it's all getting shared and routed, right? So basically when there's like a lot of action happening on a certain token, right, whoever's in control of these bots basically has the ability to move liquidity throughout the pairs to either suppress the price or pump the price. And so we definitely see that happening, right? Everything is basically sticking in a certain trend. It looks like TSFI is kind of like the only one that's not really having any issues with like dumping and things like that. It seems like there's like some more diamond-handed holders over there, I guess. Or they're not really just receiving much FUD, right? So pDAI is kind of receiving a lot of the FUD. nobody's really talking about many of the other pairs yet. Basically because we don't really know much about them, right? So the code is still unknown and unverified. But people have been saying in the research group that it looks like some of these bits of code have the ability to like put torrents in them and things like that. So it kind of like reminded them of how like an app would be set up. And basically it was looked to them as if it had already been created, but there wasn't some type of like front end to interact with it yet.
Yeah, and so just going to your point, it's very interesting, like you said, like TSFI and pDAI, you know, they have the lower liquidity to higher market cap ratio compared to pulling this one up legal. You know, you're sitting at 330K or 360K in liquidity and at a 330K market cap. And, you know, that's what you were saying about TSFI, you know, and pDAI. They're kind of in this ecosystem. They're the ones that have the lower LP and have, you know, more opportunity to pump up faster.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my thought too. But yeah, I think that's just about all the info that we had. I know these guys are still, I mean, every day, all day long, these guys are finding more stuff out. And yeah, I just really can't wait to see how we can kind of connect all this Lido stuff together, because that's really what they're digging into most right now.
Yeah, if that comes out and being like, that's huge. Like, I don't think people, and once again, it's all speculation, but that is very, very big news, because Lido is a big powerhouse on the Ethereum network. Like, you can talk about as much as you want, but if they have their hands in this, that's huge. Because Lido owns, when you go on to DeFi Llama, the biggest TVL in all of crypto is actually Lido. So it just shows you how much Ethereum is staked.
Right. No, yeah, that's true. Having the biggest TVL in all of crypto is like, that's pretty insane. Or at least
that's pretty damn bullish news for pDAI, ATROPA.
Right. And if these guys are going to be the ones to help us, you know, collateralize things. Oh yeah, also, so New2 wanted me to mention single-sided staking, right, and how things may work in V3. So obviously Pulsechain could have a V3 pop open, you know, and obviously people could be able to stake their pDAI and things like that. So we really don't need as much collateral as people are thinking, right? Because we see these bots working right now to kind of support and support the price and maybe push down the price at certain times. Basically, you know, we'll be able to utilize different kinds of methods like that to be able to hold the price at $1. I do want to just kind of go over a couple of things before we get off the stream here that 99 Capital wrote in his tweet. If you don't mind me sharing, I'm going to just share the screen one more time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this, if you can see this here, this is 99 Capital on Twitter. He made this post yesterday, but it's really, really important to understand how we're going to collateralize pDAI. So it says collateralizing pDAI is different to pegging it to $1, right? pDAI has a $20 million market cap. So to collateralize that, you need to have $30 million in the vault so that you know that if you can burn your pDAI for collateral, you can redeem it fully from the smart contract. Okay, that's part one. Pegging it requires the total collateral pool to be over 20 billion. This assumes the entire holders list is for sale in pDAI, which it isn't. Over 50% of the supply is locked in 30 wallets. So it also assumes that this isn't a fractional reserve stable, which it is. How does it peg? There are multiple ways. One, PLSX turns on a V3, fees reroute in a collateral pool owned by the entire community. Number two, large PLS whales put in PLS in Lido. They borrow staked ETH and buy pDAI. Three, PLS and PLSX rips and the smart contract ratchets up with the collateral pool. Okay, number four, how does it stay pegged? One way liquidity pools are created between stables and liquidity from volatile stables is removed. You can't break a contract that is only paired with stables. If you have watched the ATROPA network, this will make sense to you. We have to collateralize it first. We peg it second. If we do the first, RH and his ecosystem will do the rest.
Yeah.
So it has options in there of community help or community doings, and then options where you don't need them.
Yeah, there's not just one road to success here. We've got a few different paths.
So you're saying that's kind of where Lido comes in, because you're able to, basically stake with way smaller bags.
Yeah, so you can stake what you have, and then you actually receive something that you can actually use.
Nice.
Which also keeps people from selling. Man, oh man, the rabbit hole keeps going.
It's crazy, I know. I feel like I should be wearing a tinfoil hat right now, but
but hey, the funny thing is before anyone really realized like the OA what heck, so it's kind of like the same vibe, like is it going to sell? Like what does it do? Oh, well, now we see why there's an OA. It stakes when to keep that percentage the same, and it protects the system. Like people had to do on-chain analysis to come with that narrative. Now you hear the narrative, it's just put out there. But in the beginning, it was how, why. Like you got to put the pieces together. So it's definitely a rabbit hole, for sure. Yeah. But I think when it's all said and done, I think everyone's like in a rush, like now. Like if this thing does what it's intended to do, you won't be crying about the price going from 0.0014 to 0.001.
Yeah, and I don't even think that there's anything we can really do about it.
The trend line, like just see further than what you're thinking right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's much we can really even do about it, honestly. Like, so even if we wanted to just like pump the price to $1, I think that these contracts or some of these bots would suppress the price and try to move liquidity around, and like it wouldn't even let us do it if we wanted to immediately. I just have that feeling. That's my speculation.
Yeah,
it definitely is, buying and moving liquidity around to different places. So it's just, there's a lot of unknowns right now. It could take a little bit to get to where we want, right? But we do have a goal. The whole market is kind of getting behind this, it seems, or at least one by one, people are slowly coming to our side, I guess, and kind of seeing, hey, there's really no harm in kind of getting behind this thing to try to help like the whole ecosystem grow, right? This is kind of like the biggest and best thing that could ever happen for Pulsechain, honestly. All this new money could come in. Like we're onboarding people from other communities like XRP. It's really cool to see, honestly.
Yeah, no, and Zach, just like you said, like even if everyone in Pulsechain just tried buying it up, like those bots would do their thing. Same thing if everyone tried to sell. Like right. even when that news hit, we saw a massive dump. People were taking crazy profits, and then that thing just wicked right back up. The bots kicked in, and then you see people, and then it sold off again, and then people started buying back in. So
yeah, it's definitely following a line, and it's going upwards. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And you're going to see that. And the cool thing is for new people, say you're just like, you were hating on pDAI, and now you're like, you know what, this could be a speculative play. I mean, you're not like, you see a lot of coins. By the time you hear about them on Twitter, usually it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's at hundreds of million market cap. If you buy in, it would have to pull a pDAI for you to even get like a 15x. With right now, we're still sitting at 0.001.
Right.
There's still
like you don't have to risk the whole biscuit, right? You could only risk $100 or something, and you could just not even worry about it, until you hear, okay, yeah, we're at a stable coin now, it's at $1. You're like, okay, great. I don't have to worry about
great, I'm a millionaire.
Something I don't have to sell the top, there's none of that.
$100 from here, and it pegs at $1. For every $100, it's $100,000. Right. It's that simple. It's math. You can't.
I waste $100 going out to eat.
If you have a $10,000 bag, you divide that $100 by your 10,000. Like it's nothing compared to your whole bag. Like I'm not trying to tell you to do it, but 1%. Like
I mean, we waste money on a lot worse things.
And just think about this too. Like Beards, you said, and you've predicted this, that Richard Hart, when you look at the sacrifice proportion of what people put in, mostly people put in around $1,000. And you said Richard Hart wanted to make those guys millionaires. Well, right now, imagine if Richard Hart's whole plan, he's like, bro, it's sitting here. You put in $1,000 right now. When this thing pegs, you are a millionaire. And that would be just like crazy if he was just like, if he had this all planned and this was in his grand scheme and he's just letting it sit here for people to kind of catch on. And the true believers. I mean, obviously that's
he wrote it in the blockchain. You know, it's like all these little breadcrumbs we're finding. It's in the blockchain, right? We had to find it through digging in the blockchain, and he's a huge proponent of the blockchain being a freedom of speech. You know how, like, if we don't have that, we don't have the right to transact.
new
and all these
whales.
different things that kind of are just in line with the things that we're finding. It's just kind of creepy.
Yeah, you gotta play with the ecosystem to get those gains. There's a fresh new ecosystem. There's going to be fresh new narratives. There's going to be fresh new developments, and you got
New whales.
And I think what happened, and I'll be upfront, man. I think what happened is over time in the last year and a half, when all these sacrifices started coming out. You know, they started coming out during the Pulsechain sacrifice set, and there's a lot of people upset, you know, worrying about the suppressing of Hex based off of that. And there's a lot of fighting due from that. And the true reality is there was a boys club that was created with each little second, like each little section. Some people want to call it turf wars. Some people want to call it like gangland. You know, we were joking about it yesterday, and the space is called turf wars. But the reality happened is if you were a sacrifice for these sets, you got really close to those people. You became a maxi within your own little like clique, because that's all you've been dealing with. We're going to make this go up. This is the best chance of you getting more gains than on Pulsechain because it's a lower end. So, you know, all that marketing, that word porn, all that stuff I see right there. So as those communities grew and grew and grew, here comes DAI, ATROPA. So it hit people a lot harder because they sacrificed for it and it's not even out yet. Then when you bring the narrative that it could be somewhat related to Richard Hart or somebody that is a well within the ecosystem, which is a proven fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's a proven fact based on the blockchain. You cannot deny that. Now you can speculate on who it is, but the fact of the matter is the guy has money. The guy is an OG. The guy has success stories. The guy has a history. And it's all on the blockchain. And he is interacting with DAI and ATROPA. Could it be a scam? Could be, but I haven't seen him. I haven't seen any Hex scams. His Hex been out for 2.5 years. He could have built on top of Hex and created a scam.
Yeah.
Could it be a scam? I don't see any scams attached to Ethereum that he's been mining Ethereum since the beginning.
Correct.
So he doesn't have a history of scams. So that makes me a little bit more confident in going in this guy's ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean they're buying the pDAI, putting it in the liquidity pool, and then burning that liquidity pool token, right? The only way they can even exit, right, with a bunch of money is if they use this minting bug, right? So we're watching the supply every single day. There's no minting being taking place, and if it did, they would have to actually pull the money out to PLS and then to DAI and then to PLS. There's not that much liquidity in DAI, right? So if they wanted to try to pull out $1 million, they really can't. You know, and if they wanted to try to do it little by little, they would be doing that right now. They would be sneakily like minting little bits and selling little bits, right? But that's just not happening.
Yeah, so that's what I think could happen. And right now, slowly over time, just like Hex, It reminds me of Maxi, and it reminds me of Hedron. In the beginning of both of those, people were fighting, even though, gee, this is BS, you don't need that, blah, blah, blah. I saw that go down. I just sat there and watched. I don't own any Maxi. I don't own any Hedron. And I just watched it happen and watched it unfold. As the price came up and more people were learning about it and more people were taking it in, it's now accepted. They're completely fine with it. But in the beginning, they were like, these guys are bullshit. Like, no. It's because they didn't understand it. And you have a tendency to speak out when you don't understand something. And we don't even fully understand it.
No.
But we admit that. What you won't admit, what these Maxis won't admit, is that they don't understand it. So therefore, they're hating. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't even understand it. And that's why I said at 0.001, you'll see them come out of the woodworks. What? to try to learn to understand it. At 0.01, the next level, they will understand it and they will be shouting it out. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
think
going to break this down right here. I'm breaking this down for a future video. Today is Monday, August 21st, and my time, 12:52 p.m. Central Time. I am calling this at 1 cent. If pDAI goes to 1 cent and everything's going for what we are doing, majority of Hexicans will understand it and be on board. Cut.
And be talking about it. Exactly, bro. And I mean, there's an X factor behind this too. And just going back to like whoever's involved or a part of this, if you have that much money, are you really trying to like do a scam like this? Like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't feel
intricate.
like what?
So intricate, right?
Yeah. This would be like the most intricate, crazy scam. And the fact that
I give him kudos. He entertained me for a while, so take my money.
And it's the most talked about thing on Pulsechain. It's one of the highest volume coins. You know, would Richard Hart come and say, hey, guys, there's, you know, I don't know. I feel like he would tweet about it if it was like, and some people say, well, how do you know it's a bad actor? Well, if it was something that was, I'm sure Richard Hart could have his devs look into it. And if there was some issue that there could be a big scam behind, I'm sure he would speak up. That's common sense. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to see if I could pop one more thing up on my screen real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick.
Cool. All right. Can you see?
Let me check that real quick. I was doing something up here. All right, let's see here. No, I do not, but verify PLS.
Yep. So this is like this is a new website that's going to launch in 6 days, right? So what this is basically a token sniffer. So basically for contract analysis and a token rankings site for Pulsechain, right? And this is a free tool to use for anybody on Pulsechain. Basically what you do is, you just pull up the website, the top search bar, you just put in the contract address, hit enter, and it basically just gives you a whole list of all the different maybe red flags or positive things that are within the contract to show you whether they're not their admin keys, minting functions, and things like that.
Nice. We needed that. We needed that big time.
Yep. No, for sure. So yeah, I'm very excited to show this to everybody and promote it on my page. Like I said, it's a free tool to use for everybody. Any token that gets launched on Pulsechain is going to be in here. It's just for Pulsechain, not any other blockchains. And then the cool thing about it is you'll be able to go in there every day and then upvote your favorite tokens. I know that there was a website previously that was like for pulserank.com or something like that, where you could up or downvote other tokens, which I think that kind of got out of hand. So this one has like a CAPTCHA, so you have to physically hit the CAPTCHA to make sure you're a human, and then you can upvote your tokens that you'd like, and you can continuously do that throughout the day. So basically, whoever's got the biggest, best communities, it's going to be shown there on the site.
What is that website called? Verifypls.com?
Yes.
Why don't you drop the link in the comments? Some people are asking for it.
Yeah, I Carlos, I have heard about this. There is a coin called Scope. I guess there's been a lot of stuff going on with Westcott and a lot of things popping up about him. Talking about he's a maxi and going into meme coins and things like that. So he seems to be the topic of a lot of people are saying hypocrisy. So,
yeah, somebody posted a video clip of him.
There's a coin named after West. Actually, let's bring it up.
Somebody posted a video clip of him coming into my Twitter space the other day and asking if he should buy some pDAI, and then calling him out for being a maxi and lying about it at least.
Oh, they even got coins that are attached to it, like. It's pretty low. But I'm about to try to bring it up here. Present, share screen. That's cool. Yeah, it looks like someone just created a coin. Pretty low.
It's probably the HOA guys, honestly.
I mean, it's actually in a bullish formation. It's just at the $4,000 market cap. Like, it's freaking low.
Oh, it's
But
just starting then.
I think it's just a little more like just fun and poking at him because he's been poking back, and then people are poking at him, and I guess someone just created a West Coast coin.
So I wish the Verify site was live. We'd be able to check it, the contract.
So, West Coast, WSCOPE, and there he is.
It's so low.
Westcott, man, you got a coin, low liquidity, but that can grow. You got a coin named after yourself. Moon that thing, man. Funny. But yeah, man, I think it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time before people kind of catch on, in my opinion. It's doing its thing. It looks good. It looks bullish. People have an opportunity to make more pulse. People have an opportunity to make more cash. People have an opportunity, like, you got to realize, though, it is speculation. At any time, this is crypto. It might not work out. They might just pull a plug and say, oh, this was just a test phase. It didn't work out. This wasn't a guarantee. But if it works out, it's going to do what crypto does to most people. It will surprise most people, and they're going to have a story to tell, and it's going to be the most bullish thing to them, like any other coin. If you made money in Ethereum, became a massive millionaire, or you made a bunch of money with Ethereum, you're an Ethereum bull. If you did it with SHIB, most likely you're a SHIB bull. If you did it with Pepe, most likely you're a Pepe bull. If you did it with Hex, most likely you're a Hex bull. And if you do it with DAI, you're going to become a pDAI bull. So you have to open up your mind. It's this whole gangland turf war thing. That is how you lose out. It's not how you win. It's how you lose out. I'm not saying you can't win doing what you do, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose out. And I'm going to end it with this quote right here. Those who are in Bitcoin lost out. If you're a maxi in Bitcoin, you lost out. Why? Because you missed Ethereum. Those who were in Ethereum and just said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to hold my Ethereum. Missed out on every ERC20 that was built on Ethereum. You could pick and choose what 10,000X you wanted to do, but you were too much of a bull. You weren't believing it. Same thing with Ethereum. If you were Ethereum, and that's because we got a lot of hexagons on here, you missed out on Hex. Even if you were in Bitcoin, you could have put your Bitcoin into there and got free Hex. You missed out. Why? Because you were a maxi in your own situation. Those who are in Hex missed out on a lot of things. Why? Because you were a maxi within Hex. Then you got in the Pulsechain, and you're still a maxi within Pulsechain. You haven't learned the lesson from history. So take that for however you want to take it, and realize as this space starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, there's going to become more and more and more opportunities. If you just open up your mind and say, it is possible, anything is possible, in my opinion, in crypto.
Yeah, I mean, we're in one of the most fastest evolving industries ever. So, I mean, it definitely is going to benefit you to have an open mind, because it's not going to be so obvious, these plays that are just going to go up. That's just not how crypto works. It's finding these nuggets when everyone's hating on you and you buy in out of faith and some data, not even having it all together, and it just takes off. That's what I've learned in just the time that I've been in crypto. The obvious plays, sometimes they're not so obvious, and the ones you think are a for sure thing, they're usually not a for sure thing. So still bullish on Pulsechain, still my biggest bag, but I think I'm well on my way to 2x to 10xing that bag that I got in there. And I hope we win in this one, and we're either going to be the smartest people in the world, or it's going to be a flop, and that's a fact. Like, that's, you just fine, have, that's fine, and we're willing to take that risk. We do it all the time. That's crypto, and the highest gains are going to come from the highest risk. So I would say this isn't even that risky compared to other stuff we've aped into, but everything, the deeper we go down the rabbit hole, the more boxes we're checking, the more things are checking out, and the more it's becoming clear to the people who understand what is really going on. Zach, give your concluding statements and we'll end the stream.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess I would just leave this with, the reason why we're all so kind of like crazy on this, I guess, it's because of like what Richard's been teaching us, right? Decentralization is super, super necessary for Pulsechain in the future and for people in the future, right? And so is privacy. And Richard Hart's been huge proponents of that. And if basically a centralized stablecoin will always have to work with the bank and things like that. This could possibly be a way for, a lot of new money to be coming in and, lifting all the boats, right, with the rising tide. It's just going to be, in my mind, the best thing that I can see for Pulsechain going forward. Something that we can all get behind because we all, have this same vision, right? Or at least we should. If we're in DeFi, we should all be along the same lines of like, privacy and decentralization, right? So that's just what I would kind of like leave here with. Also, if you want to just follow me on Twitter, that'd be great. ZACA313. So Zaka313 is my handle.
Yeah, guys, give this guy a follow and all these investigators, man, because that's where you're going to get your news first. So I would hit those notifications, and we appreciate you guys keep coming on and just bringing this knowledge. You guys are really smart and technical with the blockchain, and we're more on the marketing side of things, but it's cool to really understand this.
Yeah, honestly, I'm more on the marketing side myself too. I'm not the big researcher, and I don't want anybody to think that I am, but I do love to be social and share the information, and I do feel like I do understand it. So yeah, no, I do appreciate you guys' sentiment though. Thank you for having me up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like anyone that wants to, I don't try to just make it all about like how my style of marketing, because what a lot of people are going to do is just be like, B Rich is just pumping his bag, blah, 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 which in a way I am. I mean,
yeah,
in a way I am. But at the same time,
you want everybody to make it, right?
Yeah, you want to get someone else the face to say, hey, like this is real. Like these people are real. This is their face. They're willing to put their face out there. And in the end, we're just giving the information we see on the blockchain. Right. It's not like it's made up. Now, when something we try to make up, we make sure we let you know, hey, this is just speculation. Mm-hmm. This is what I think that's possible, and it's possibilities. It's a hypothesis, and does it come true? We don't know, but based on what we see going on in the blockchain, it's all good. Like part of Pulsechain. It's part of a layer one. What's going to come of this? How it's all going to shape? We don't know, but I'm speculating on it, and I like what I see. So
absolutely, guys, also make sure subscribe to the Crypto Kings YouTube channel. We're going to be bringing you pDAI content, Pulsechain content, and all kinds of gems in the near future, especially this bull run. You want to have your notifications on, and we will see you guys on the next show this Friday, 12:30 Eastern, and stay tuned. We might have a surprise guest on Shill Tank tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Later.
So for those of you who want to make that change, you need some crypto to help you to make that green. Yo, they gotta let your crypto king showing you how to invest and live your dreams. So for those of you who want to make that change, you need some crypto to